I am Jen Marie. And this is Morgana.
Hello.
And we are at Wyrdbrook. And today is the nicest day of the year. Like it actually feels hot outside. And so we have decided that we're going to make it special and make dinner and have dinner out on the porch. There's like a sun porch right there.
Yes.
And we thought that we would bring you with us because we've been talking about bringing you with us for the last 5 months and we have not done it yet.
Unless give the dogs a treat.
So we're doing that, and Ocean is helping us.
Yay, Ocean.
And we might have others pop in. But that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And we're like winging it.
Shocker.
We don't have a plan. We're just doing the thing.
All right.
We know what we're making though. What are we making?
Taco salad.
Salad.
So is this what dinner is typically like for you guys?
Depends on the day.
If you mean, do we typically wing it? Yes. We do every night. Well, I usually hang out. Morgana does most of the cooking.
Yeah,
I can cook.
you can indeed.
But Morgana loves to cook, and there is a difference. And so I usually hang out and dance around the kitchen while she's cooking.
Yeah, absolutely. And it depends on how many spoons we have. So
Yeah.
if I have spoons and Jen doesn't, or vice versa, then we handle the majority of the cooking on those days.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good flow, for sure. And sometimes we just have her and fish do some heater pot, because that's a dope day for both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things about us living together, and there's a lot of cool things, is that we're diagnosis buddies in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And so Morgana genuinely understands my lived experience, and I genuinely understand hers.
Absolutely.
And we jointly, this is a life that we're doing together, and it definitely takes two people, like two of us equal one person.
Equal one able-bodied person.
Yeah. And we usually trade off on who's able-bodied also, which is super tight, by
Very
the way.
tidy.
Because that
very naturally happens, which is lovely. Yeah, it takes the pressure off too.
I hope you weren't hoping for shredded lettuce, because that's not happening.
I'm zero expectations.
You got a Julie today.
My specific form of autism doesn't have any greens requirements. I have requirements for other things, but not for greens.
Is that something you guys talked about before moving in together? Was like autism requirements, or?
I think because, go ahead.
I don't know that we specifically talked about sensory requirements. I think I did ask you if you had fabric kind of or pillow required to, because I knew you were going to come in hot from travel.
Yeah.
And I asked if you needed any specific foods, and I ordered. Jen has the same breakfast generally every day. She makes a porridge with all different kinds of lovely whole grains. So I made sure those were here so that she could do that. But I don't know that we had any other food conversations. I have more food sensory stuff than Jen does, I think.
I'm mostly an opportunivore.
Yeah. And I have a lot of texture aversions. Thus be cooking too, because then I can cook to my preference. But it fits really well. I think we don't really have. Yeah, it's been great. No notes for sure. It's lovely to have someone else who understands my neurodivergence.
And the other thing is that due to the nature of the work that we do together, we all openly discuss
Yeah, right.
support needs and
Yeah, it was already a conversation.
sensory supports and things like that. That's such a casual conversation for
Right.
us. It's hard to really point down like when did we actually talk about this?
Yeah,
Because we
yeah.
talk about it for all of the events that we
Right.
do as a coven,
Right.
for the communities that we serve. We take into consideration their sensory needs and their
Right.
support needs and stuff. So
Yeah, that's a good point. That is already a conversation that we have all the time, which is so lovely to be in a community in which those conversations are very natural.
yeah.
And I think we talked about creating like an online kind of quiz, like questions for people coming to Wyrdbrook to fill out ahead of time. And then we can save those answers if they have sensory stuff, if they prefer a certain fabric or hate velvet or don't want whatever. But then we have those for the future when they come back. And we can try to accommodate as much as we can.
That is so interesting. I've been developing something similar
Really?
for the spa. Yeah, because my idea for the spa is that it would be somewhere that people could come stay for like a period of time.
Yeah.
For like a flat rate, but however
Right.
long they need to stay, like, we'll plan it in advance. And then they would have this almost an interview beforehand.
Yeah.
Fill out the paper, and then we'd have an interview to make sure that like, we can meet their needs and accommodate their accessibility needs and all of that stuff. And I also, because I imagined the spa being like this co-op space where there'd be like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 witches that live there.
Yeah.
I imagined that they would have like a buddy assigned to them where like that would be their like person like that, hey, I have this need.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, ideally people would come and be able to communicate with anybody, who's facilitating the experience, at whatever time they are.
Right.
The idea would be that like these 4 or 5 witches own the co-op and they would live there and steward the people, steward the property and all that stuff together. And so there would be that person who was like supposed to be their buddy would like have their own kind of spa weekend before that person arrived so that they would be like well prepared to take care of it.
Oh, so they have in school.
Yeah.
I love that. What a cool idea.
I even thought about like having profiles of the witches like on the website so that people could pick their buddy.
Oh,
like who they could.
Yeah.
What
a cool way
we're doing a lot of similar, like we're like working on a lot of similar things.
Yeah, I love that. I think as we go, we're gonna find witches having all kinds of cool ideas that are still in that same like along the same line. I'm excited to see how it all shakes out.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we've
It's so
talked
hard.
to Silver about this already as well.
Cool. I love it.
Because when we were talking about this structure for the little like questionnaire, they were like an IEP.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I was like, kind of like an IEP. And so we talked to them about being involved in making that. I think all of us are going to be involved and influencing it. It's kind of how we do.
Yeah.
Totally.
I don't know what an IEP is.
It's used in the education system usually for people with special needs.
Okay.
What is the something plan? Education plan. They're integrated education plan. Okay.
Individualized education program.
Individualized.
Yes.
That's the one.
What inspired you to make Wyrdbrook into the first physical location for Bright and Dark and to invite Jen Marie to come help you?
Oh man. Well, just being witchy about it, first of all, I guess. So I've always, wow, you got to go back a long way. My dad, I'm one of those strange, what's it called? Legacy? Is that the word? A generational witch. So my dad was a witch, and raised me that way. And he was a hippie long ago, and always talked and loved the idea of community living. So that was part of just my like DNA. And so was homesteading, because I grew up on a homestead in the desert, though, in New Mexico. And so coming here, I always knew that I wanted to leave a legacy for my daughter and to create a space that was safe and thriving, right? Like, and so when after I joined foundations, the Pure Foundation, that idea started to coalesce a little bit more. And January talking about the nunnery long ago, you know, that was inspiration too for me to think of the way in which I could make that sort of place here. And quite honestly, we met about it not in an idea of like Jen coming here originally, but me just like talking it through. I did, a session with Jen, and then I sat with it, and at the new year last year, was doing my kind of manifestation work for the upcoming year. So that would have been 2025. And wrote out basically like a story, like what I wanted this place to be and the way I wanted it to feel, and, find that feeling picture. And I sent it to Jen Marie, and that inspired her, I think, or passed that torch on to you, and that will put on, because I don't know the story after I sent it to you. How you decided it's like a beacon. You said there was like I don't know.
It's that everything that she was saying was so in alignment with everything that I've been working toward.
Right.
I forgot. I thought about it just right after I said it. And I go,
oh, here we are.
Yeah, she sent me kind of a description of what she was wanting to do, and I think the link to the real estate thing, so I could see the
house
of the house.
Yeah,
and something like, if you want to talk, or something like that, because we had a meeting where you explained everything that you were wanting to.
Right.
And it's really exciting because it, again, is so very aligned with everything that I've been passionate about my whole life. Yeah. So I knew that I was supposed to be mobile and prepared to make a move, but I had no idea like where. And of course, as it usually is, we're like, no, it could never be this. And then
it's a trap.
Yeah, it could never be this. And this is like me. I at a point in my life where I was like, houses are traps.
Yeah.
I don't see myself ever living in another house again.
Right.
And because I love living in an RV, and I love living really close to the natural world. And
yeah,
I kept drawing cards that said that I needed to just jump into the next opportunity that was aligned. And Morgana was telling me about what was going on in their life, and I was like, well, why don't I go out to like visit and see? And then I had that scheduled, and then a couple weeks later or something like that, I was like, well, why don't I just stay for 6 months?
Yeah.
Because I got this really strong feeling that I'm going to get out here and this is where I need to be. And mind you, Morgana and I had never met in person ever. And I was living across the country. And it's funny because like my friends back on the West Coast like if it wasn't me,
Right. It'd be really, really crazy.
So you're gonna go somewhere you've never been to be with someone you've never met
Right.
in Maine, and they were
In the
saying that
winter.
it sound in the winter, and they were saying it sounded like a
Like
Stephen
misery.
King.
Yeah, Stephen King novel. That's a horror movie, sorry.
Movie start.
And for me, the synchronicity that like sealed the deal was that I was going through a personal catalyst with my husband, my relationship. And so the day that he left the house for good, basically, that he left in the morning around 10, and Jen messaged me about 1, I think, or 2 in the afternoon. And those things happened within hours of each other. So it was just like,
And that's kind of how everything has been. Just like synchronicity, just synchronicity, encouragement after encouragement.
has laid itself out very, very easily
We would be dumb
to ignore it.
and super stubborn to have like ignored this or
Yeah.
um
To fight
to
against
push
it.
back.
Yeah. Agree. Yeah. It's been too easy.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I could just share my little story real quick too. So I've been wanting to move for a while now.
Yeah.
And when I've mostly been trying to wait until I have top surgery to kind of figure out where I would move to.
Okay.
And no matter how hard I have tried and put in effort and different systems and different support networks and all these things to try and get top surgery, it always falls through somehow. And so right now, the state of Oregon is in a process of trying to help me get my top surgery. And I have a consultation on March 4th next year.
Okay.
And was it the 4th? It's in March anyway. So, and our lease here ends in at the end of March, the very last day next year. And so I'm coming out to Wyrdbrook in June. I'm going to stay with you guys for, I think I planned for like a full moon cycle, like out on before the new moon, and then I'm leaving after the full moon. So I can experience a whole cycle of what it's like. And I've never lived in community before. I lived with my family. I lived in a party apartment for a while, which was like insanity. And then I was like, I'm never having roommates again. That was the worst. And then I moved in with Ian.
Right.
And Ian and I have been constructing relationships and understanding how to be in relationship as two individual people rather than like a couple unit, which is so funny. I broke up with him last year and our relationship is like better than it's ever been. Like
I love that. Anarchy.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I've been leaning toward is relationship anarchy because it feels the most aligned for how I experience genuine connection. And so I'm coming out there in June, feel things out and just see like what it's like. And it's so funny when I told Jen Marie I'm coming out there and I'm just gonna check it out. She was like, "That's exactly what I said." And, I think Morgana, I think you said the same thing too. You're like, "That's exactly what Jen said when I."
Yep.
So
it's a thing, and I think you'll know if it's aligned. You'll know.
Oh yeah. I told myself I can't move anywhere that I haven't visited first. So
Absolutely.
Coming out to visit feels really aligned. And I know that I was talking to you last year in my most recent attempt to force the universe to let me have my top surgery to that I might be coming out there and healing in community from this as like a somebody who was needing support as an unbound witch, not necessarily as like a Wyrdbrook thing.
Right. Exactly.
And so I remember we planned it all out and then about a month later it was like things fell through and I was like, no. And I've been believing that I couldn't be in community until I felt like perfect or like whole or something like that.
Mm.
I'm really looking forward to coming out and being in community and being able to be not whole, like not done yet, right? Like,
Yes.
not, I felt like
Right.
my top surgery would make me like a finished person. And so,
Oh, what a thing to untangle.
right. Absolutely. It's like, how do you show up in
Yeah.
community when you don't feel fully like yourself yet? How do you claim
Right.
belonging when
Right.
you don't entirely know what that feels like or looks like?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's a theme for a lot of witches right now too.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Yeah.
it's because the world is so complicated right now too. It's hard to like to almost give yourself permission to figure that shit out right now. Because it's like, I don't know, things are so messy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, and it also is a big testament to your identity is always going to be fluid and ever crystallizing because we're human beings.
Right.
But your
Right.
our connection is something that's innate because I feel so called out there. And I literally was talking to Ian about it. I was like, I think that I want to look into moving to Maine, like
Yeah.
somewhere I've never been before, with conditions I've never lived in, and moving towards people who, to anybody from that has known me for any period of time, like growing up and stuff, would be complete strangers. But to me, you guys are my closest friends. Like, I've never felt so uh understood and also so supported, but in a way that acknowledges my sovereignty without taking away connection, right? Or without punishment or anything like that. It's like you guys aren't like, you know, the coven and the community isn't, we don't force support, but we are open to people asking for what they need, but you have to actually know what you need in order to ask for it. And I think that tends to be the hardest part.
Yeah.
Knowing what you actually want. That is the hardest part.
And being able to feel safe enough to ask for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because a lot of us tend to be helpers, but
Right.
that's why we deconstruct control, because we don't, a lot of times the ways that we try to support each other ends up being trying to control the other person's experience.
Right. Yeah, Jen and I were just talking earlier about how great this is and how easy and move on the future. And I mentioned that I don't think I could have done this if I hadn't deconstructed my want and desire for control. Because I would have seen where we were going and tried to force us through there, right? And I learned how to collaborate by being involved in this community. It was an important lesson. I wouldn't be able to do this for sure without having learned that.
Well, I think an important part of that too, what you're talking about is the visions are not reality, they're inspiration.
Ooh.
Because in my experience, my visions have inspired feeling signatures, allowing me to understand my deeper needs. But it wasn't necessarily that my visions were the exact unfolding like a prophecy.
Right. Ooh, that's a very good point. Yeah. Well, and who says my way is the right, I say in air quotes, right way, right? Who says that that's, or the only way? But we can get to that place where I see us going in all different kinds of fashions and with all different kinds of ideas and information. Like there's infinite possibility.
Absolutely. Well, and that brings up something like, for me, it brings up how self-actualization fits into community actualization. Because we think of it kind of opposite, you know, we think of like that oh so famous triangle where you have to self-actualize before you can come to community, which is what I was talking about my top surgery.
Right.
But really, especially as we're so fractured, being able to hold space for people like as community, like is the best way to support them in choosing belonging and understanding that choosing belonging means choosing to be held while you self-actualize
Oof. Mhm.
rather than trying to actualize yourself through the community.
Mhm.
Totally. But yeah, I think that's why I'm so passionate about astrology, because it helps people self-actualize to interpret their own charts.
Mhm. Mhm. What a cool perspective. I hadn't thought about it that way.
Thank you.
Mhm. I want you to do my chart too, Ocean. I'll pay you dollars.
Oh my
to do
god,
that.
I forgot that she was behind me.
I would love to do your chart. It's literally been on my mind. I told the support team I'm like collecting charts, so you're next.
Mhm.
I'm coming for you.
I would love that. I would love to see it through your lens.
Yay. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's really exciting. I love asking people questions in relation to their charts and
Mhm.
just helping people, or I helping is kind of a loaded word, but seeing how people understand their own archetypes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, you have a base of knowledge that most of us don't have. So helping is a great, I think, good way to describe that. Teaching. Teaching.
I guess helping and teaching both feel kind of hierarchical to me still. Like I'm
Ooh,
deconstructing those ideas.
interesting. Mhm.
Because like if you think about it, like when you're helping somebody, a lot of times you're believing that you have more power than them. And that's something as a
Mhm.
support which I've really had to work on deconstructing.
Interesting.
Same thing with a teacher.
Mhm.
And it's like, what does teaching look like when those participating are teaching in a circle rather than one person standing up at the front?
Right. Mhm.
I guess it looks like sass. I guess it looks like
It kind of does. Oh, I know. I'm so happy to be outside on the porch. I am. It's so nice today. Everything is melting. Oh, we got the pigs outside today for a little while. They loved it. And then they started getting pink, so I had to bring them inside. Little pig sunburn. How do you feel about the pigs, Ocean?
So I haven't really met. I think I saw like a video of them once, but
Mhm.
I'm really excited to meet them. I've heard pigs are like super friendly, and I've always wanted to meet them. I've always been enamored with farms, but I always grew up super bougie. Like I was just realizing this recently. Like my parents were able, with like support from another family member, to get like a nice house in the suburbs, and we had a reverse osmosis machine, and my mom was like super OCD, and so like our house almost felt like a what's it called? Like a display house, like a real TV.
Oh, mhm.
Yeah, everything was always
Like it was staged.
and organized. Yeah, it felt like staged. Yeah, any mess was like really obvious. So I've always been kind of enamored with the idea of farm life. But I definitely am gonna come out there, and I feel like I'm gonna look a little bit prissy because it's unfamiliar to me. I mean, I went camping a lot. Like I don't have no experience with it, but
Do you remember how I dress? Right. I have strutted my sassy ass across this barnyard in
In her robe, like my
that
drama
that
robe.
big drama robe.
yeah. You make your own clothes too. So are you ever worried about them getting like dirty or getting like, uh
Pigtails all over that.
snagged or anything like that?
So most of the stuff that I make using post-consumer recycled material. And also, no, my clothes have a life of their own and they're meant to be lived in. And it really depends on like what I'm doing. I generally try not to wear clothes that I've made when I'm painting, but I'm using generally very heavily because I just wear what I want. I did get some farm pants, some like
Yeah, she did.
farm pants with pockets and stuff like that. So I do have proper attire. Most of the stuff that I make is like there's all kinds of like dangly bits everywhere. And I learned from experience not to go running through the woods with a bunch of dangly bits or into the pig pen because it's fascinating. And I don't want to be fascinating all the time.
No, Miss Jillian will grab the bits and get around. Just for fun.
I think I'm most excited to meet the chickens. I've always wanted to hold a chicken. I know this sounds like a weird dream to have, but like I feel like that would like fulfill something in me.
I love that. Like you'll have the opportunity. You could just like take a chair and go sit down by the chicken yard and we'll watch them.
Well, we have little baby chickens.
Yeah, I love baby chicks.
Oh my god, no way. I
Yeah.
used to go to the Tractor Supply store and I would just sit and watch the baby chicks.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can time that in a way so they're little when you're here.
that would be so epic.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. That's so exciting.
Baby chicks are so cute. I love them. They jump. They just hop all over the place. They're adorable.
Oh. Are there any other animals that you've wanted to get or think about like stewarding?
You know,
Did I open a can of worms or a can of goats?
the amount of time that I spend ruminating. That's funny. Ruminating. On ruminants. On herd animals. I spend a lot of time thinking about it and probably talking about it. I'm just in the middle of reading a book about one cow revolution. So like the way one cow can revolutionize a farm. So yes, to answer your question, I want a cow real bad. We need fencing before we can put a cow. And I had thought about sheep and goats are more trouble than I think I'm willing to handle. Maybe sheep would be okay. Yes, is the answer to your question.
What and all of those you can make some like really cool cheese from there.
Yes. Oh my God. So we've discovered as we go here, the biggest input we have, like the thing we buy most at the store is dairy.
Yeah.
Like we always say, we're out of dairy, we got to go to the store, right? So that will make a huge difference in terms of our self-sufficiency, in terms of like being able to feed other animals with their extra milk, with the buttermilk, with the whey, whatever. And also just putting manure back into the pasture is a big deal. So yes. I've already had like she's making courses. I've already purchased them.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
Yeah. I want to learn that so much.
And there's plenty of accommodations for them.
Yeah.
There's a whole massive barn designed for cows.
Like a cattle farm for a long time.
Oh.
Back in the 1800s and early 1900s, it was a cattle farm. So definitely has the infrastructure for such a thing.
Jem Marie, I'm curious, what was the biggest like culture shock moving to Wyrdbrook from the West Coast?
The way people talk is wonderful. It is delightful. They have very strange hot dog buns here.
Oh,
Like I've never seen before.
yeah. And hot dogs, the bright red ones.
Oh, and the bright red hot dogs.
They're terrible.
So the food usually, but food holds a very special place in my heart. I'm glad that I had the experience with Alaska for so long before I came here.
How's Emily?
Because yes, they get a lot of snow here. And yes, it gets really cold, but it's not the same intensity as Alaska. So it's like, okay, I'll like climb out on the roof and shovel the snow. It's only like a couple feet.
It's fine.
It's not like 4 feet and like blizzard conditions and sub-zero temperatures. It's not all of them all at the same time.
Right. And it doesn't snow for days and days and days and days and days.
Yeah. And there's a lot of like reprieve. We'll have intense weather or it gets really cold, but like the next day it's like super nice and it isn't so dark. So lots of reasons. So yes, it was very good that I had the Alaskan stories to be here, but I've been really, really focused on the painting project. Like painting all rooms and everything, which I am so close to being done for this season.
Right.
It's going to take another season to finish the farmhouse because the farmhouse is huge. It's really big, but it'll be set for the next season.
It looks so beautiful. So beautiful. Beautiful colors, beautiful trim. Her name is Evangeline, the house. She's very happy with the attention. Now that we talked everybody off the ledge with said red run hallway.
Yeah. It's a very active farmhouse. And they were not happy about what I did to this hallway that has
Upstairs.
this red damask wallpaper, but it was like coral and red, super faded. And so I did painting technique on it to make it look old as shit and cool as fuck. But they were not convinced. And so I had someone standing at the edge of my bed all night one night. They were very agitated and I keep having to come back and be like, I promise you, I know it doesn't make sense.
It's gonna look great.
But every person that walks through this hallway is going to gasp with how absolutely glorious this is.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense. So we had lots of long conversations about it. And they're fine with it now. It looks really good.
I guess that's a distinction too. I don't think that was the house itself. I think that was the no longer living who are still here. So those are different. I think the house itself is very pleased with the attention.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like a fellow interior decorator is having beef with you.
Yes. Which it makes total sense.
And that's something you've done professionally before too.
Yeah, I actually include the spirits of the house now, and the resident corporeal and non-corporeal in the like consultation, so to speak, when I'm going through, and I really take the time to really get to know the house really well. I knew that was going to be a battle. I knew it was, and so just like any like client that I would have previously that would be a little bit nervous about some of the ideas, and I have to be like, trust the process. I've learned how to do that. So, and it looks really good. So good.
So when you're having a conversation with the house, are you like walking around talking to it? Are you like meditating in a specific room? Like, what does that look like for you? If you want to share.
Yes.
Does it just feel like you're in this conversation energetically?
Yeah.
Yes. It's an experience for me because I'm claircognizant. And so there's this, with a dash of clairsentience, sometimes it's a visual thing. It feels like remembering, but they're not my memories.
Totally.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like experiencing a memory that I have never actually had, but it's not a daydream, which is different. It has a different feeling signature to it.
How would you describe the daydream? I'm curious.
a daydream usually has like a hook in the present, right? Something's going on and you're daydreaming about possibilities, but that's not. There isn't a hook that brings on the like daydream,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And there's a nostalgic feeling too.
Mhm.
Mm.
House really likes country music.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah. So for me, I am more clairaudient. So, and I um, feel frequency. So I can feel the vibration of the house, like its pleasure, right? I can feel its feeling signature. I don't know how to describe that. The buzz of the house, it changes. Like when when some of the support team came in October, the frequency of the house like spun up like a top. It was like, and I could feel it. Just because I think partly I've spent the last 6 years talking to the house and getting to know it. But for me, I think it's definitely like, I don't actually hear sound, but it's frequency that if that
I
makes
can
sense.
super relate to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can feel it. It buzz.
yeah, the house was definitely ready
Yeah.
for when I came and because I came and then like 2 weeks later, most of the Unbound came as well. And I thought the house was ready to hold that and excited about what we were going to be doing. So, mhm.
She's pretty sturdy and safe for sure.
Yeah.
Good bones.
Mhm.
And she definitely the before we purchased it, it was owned since the 1960s. In the 1960s, an older couple bought it. And then from that point on, it was no longer a farm. It was no longer a working farm. And that couple's daughter then inherited it and lived here with her husband. And so, just as an illustration, he used the pasture for golf practice. So, like, they're just this place is has always been vibrant and alive and full of activity and working and producing things to keep everyone well and safe. And since the 60s, it's just been silent. Like they shut up whole rooms of the house. And
Wow.
so the house is really the whole place is very pleased. I'm not going to say happy, so I'm not sure if I'm being quite happy yet, but it's pleased that there is the potential for this to be vibrant and full of activity again. I can only do so much as one person to bring it back to life. And so that's part of that inspiration for creating Wyrdbrook as a sanctuary is that this place wants many people to be here and wants to hold that and keep us all well and safe. It wants it. So it's definitely getting excited.
We had enthusiastic consent.
Absolutely.
That's
Across
beautiful.
the board, inside and outside, across the board. Yeah,
Well, that is our dinner.
we did it.
Thank you for
Yeah.
joining us and hanging out with us and making this warmest day of the year special.